Welcome to another episode of Ruff Talk VR, a weekly podcast with in-depth game reviews, exclusive developer interviews, and the latest MetaQuest and virtual reality news. We join our hosts, the father-son team of Dscruffles and Stratus today, as they spend another episode breaking down and discussing the world of virtual reality.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Coming at you with an in-studio news episode after a week off of that. Actually, 2 weeks off of news, technically.
Still got to record, just not in somebody else's studio.
Yes. Last week we did our
apartment.
Our Gamescom, which we ended the episode in studio with the last wrap up, but most of the episode was in our Airbnb. And then the week before that, we actually did our mid-year roundup of like our favorite games of the year so far. So it's been a little bit since our last news episode.
Yeah, that was a perfect one before going to Gamescom too.
Yeah, we were like, man, what can we get? What can we do that, fills in that time while we're gone from Gamescom? We're like, well, it's been such a loaded year. It's something we've done in the past, like Journey Thus Far episodes, mid-year roundup. Sometimes those themed episodes are my favorites.
Sometimes, well, it's also good to mix it up sometimes.
Yeah, versus always just the news and the interviews and stuff like that. And we will get back to our interview schedule soon, just the news this week, but soon we'll be back to everything. I'm adjusting to some life changes. I guess I can mention on the podcast if I posted it on LinkedIn and Twitter. And Eric from QTC, he mentioned it as well. So some keen observers kind of already picked it up, but I picked up a full-time job with the Impact Reality crew. Woo! Started doing some part-time work with them maybe like a month ago or so, and now I've made the transition starting this week to full-time.
Yeah, I mean, the cat was out of the bag at Gamescom for sure.
Yeah, well, for the people there, and then Eric talked about it on his podcast, so
that just solidified it. But that happened after Gamescom.
Yeah, so that's cool, man. I've been wanting to be in the industry for a while. I can officially start to build up some, gaming stuff on my resume. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things
It's a very good move.
Yeah, it's one of those things sometimes, there's jobs in the gaming industry, but there's not too many jobs that are for like no experience previously, especially if you don't have a college background like myself. So I've been applying around for a while, but of course, I have no gaming industry history and no college applying for positions that require 2 years of experience, 2 to 4 years. Of course, I'm not going to get it. You got to really get handed that bone. And Impact, it was more of like, hey, we see your passion. That's enough of a resume for us, so it's cool. Start to build things up and hopefully be part of like the next wave of VR, especially with them doing some stuff like Trombone Champ and all that with the Flat to VR studios. Cool stuff ahead on that horizon. But we have.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we have a loaded episode of news, so I don't want to harp on myself too much. So whole bunch of news to talk about on this episode. I got a thickle stack here. You have an equally thickle stack, so this will be a loaded one of things to talk about. To kick it off, I guess we got Astro Hunters, a game made by Winkley Studio, which they also made Survival Nation, the long-lost episode of Ruff Talk VR. But, big fans of them. They also did Elven Assassin, a great VR archery game, one of our originals that we played when we first got the Quest and we were searching for co-op games. Their game, Astro Hunters, it's like a co-op, PvP, PvE. There's going to be NPCs and other players, kind of like a little off-world space extraction game. Looks like it's got some potential. They recently launched a demo on Steam, and now it's coming to the Quest on September 19th for $19.99, but you can pre-order it now for 10% off.
Which brings it down to like 17.
Something 17 like that.
It's always like pre-order deals.
Yeah. You have to give good incentive to it, and the referral program's taken a little bit of an overhaul where now I think you got to be like friends with the person, and you can only use the code like with 5 people or something like that. So now 10% off is like a little bit more enticing than it was 6 months ago when people would just wait to grab a referral code from the comments.
Yeah.
So I think that, things are headed.
I'm not upset that they changed that, to be honest with you, because it was getting a little, granted you're limited, your per year totals and all that you could, something had to give, because you're really taking from the developer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it sucks.
I mean, like we've talked about it before. You're kind of forced them that they have to do at least a 25% off
to
or
make
more.
it worth it.
Yeah,
that's why would you? But if you're still friends with people, and people do have a lot of friends in their networks, so I mean, you're still going to be able to take advantage of a good savings.
Yeah, and I still see it going down now. The conversation is just a couple more steps. Now people go, add me on Meta, and then I'll send you the code. So people are still definitely taking advantage of it.
Yeah, they just do it through social media.
Yeah,
you just post on there that you're going to want the game code, and it's that simple. Just, here's my screen name. Just add me. There
could even still be comment spam because of that, but at least they're making, efforts to improve it. And like I said, now a 10% pre-order discount is actually a little bit enticing. But I'm excited for this one. It's another game that we can play together co-op. So
yeah, I'm hoping they pull it off good. So
I've heard some mixed things about the PC VR.
Till we get in our hands.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure. VR is always a different thing, but we'll see. All right, so this is a cool one that I really wanted to start with on my end. But Grokit is doing their DLC, released their DLC, which the proceeds are going to go to childhood cancer. Actually, the Children's Cancer Research Fund. So the DLC will be $3.99. When we had talked to Robin, she was talking about this, and she even talked about how the kids had some involvement in what they wanted in the game, and it was cool to see her just open that up to, kids who are going through a pretty terrible experience. But you're going to be able to cancer blaster. You're going to be able to blast cancer cells.
You
and
fight them, right?
You're going to kill the cancer, and it's a cool thing that they're doing at her studio, and it's cool that the proceeds are actually going to go to benefit the research fund for children with cancer.
Yeah, that's a really cool cause.
And the price, dude, $4,
$3.99.
That's some walkabout shit right there. So
knowing it goes to a good cause.
Yeah, it's almost like just pay it.
Yeah, I mean, Grokit's a fun game that adds even more mini games and themes to, like you said, fighting the cancer. That's a cool vibe. And like you said, Robin was quite excited about it when we talked to her.
That was the last episode she was on with us, so it was only like 2 months ago. But I would definitely check that one out, because she'll go pretty deep with how this came to be, and the story. Knowing the story of it and then seeing this happen makes it even kind of cooler.
Yeah.
But how cool was it meeting her in person?
Dude, that type of stuff from Gamescom was the biggest highlight of anything to me, meeting people like Robin Mulder in person that we've talked to for how many hours?
A lot. Our number one appeared guest on the show.
We even appeared one time on a round table of live open mic that she was on too. So, I mean, if you want to even count that time talking to her as well too, we have some hours. Counts. We have some. It wasn't a Ruff Talk, so it doesn't count towards the Ruff Talk interviews, but we have hours logged with her, is my point.
But what's cool is when you talk to her in person, you can see that brain moving. I mean, we talked to her even through the...
Is she not exactly the same in terms of like enthusiasm in person?
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Away from camera, away from mic. I mean, what you see is what you get with Robin.
It was really cool to see that what she puts out in the interviews, like you said, is genuinely her.
We'll say the average person is here. Her thinking's like just about up here. So you better carry yourself up to a different wavelength to really absorb all this stuff you're gonna hear. But yeah, no, dude, I digress a little, but screw it, it's her project, so we can talk about meeting her.
Yeah, no, I agree. That stuff was a highlight of Gamescom. Really cool to meet her in person. Grokit's a great game. 3 Pound Games is an awesome studio.
Good studio, yeah. Plus they got Grokit.
Yes, I'm so...
Which is and this is terrible because, again, you can hear about it in the interview with her. But it had me torn between their gaming side and what they're doing with this, and I'm like...
That might pass it, huh?
Yes. And it felt weird because in real time, I'm taking the info she's talking about, and I'm like,
that sounds makes sense.
I have a great time with the games besides just, Grokit, Space Dragons, Space Dragons Unleashed,
Space Dragon Unchained.
That was, dude, first time we played that. That was really freaking cool. But I see this other business that they're doing, and I'm like, this is going to surpass your gaming model.
That was my first thought too. I agree.
It scares me because I feel like more attention rightfully will get pushed into that avenue. So and I'm not saying from any firsthand, this is just speculation, but I would question whether the need to even have to make games would be there anymore when they can turn this over to the creation world of people making games.
Well, did you see did you see my reaction while she was talking about it in real time during that interview? I was like, this is exactly what I need.
Yeah.
I still haven't had time to go into it.
It's going to make life a lot easier for a lot of people.
Yeah. I've been, like I said, big transition with life. So I've been busy. So I haven't had time to get into that side of it, but I'm so excited to start to play with Grokit. Like
it screams anybody who ever wanted to make a game, right? To a degree.
Kid in a candy shop when I was hearing about it.
Things are just, I love that people are going to make the process
even easier
and easier, but that's still not going to probably solve like optimization issues and all that.
And you got to have a good idea.
Well, yeah.
You got to have a good idea, game theory.
Everything starts with a good idea.
What makes a game fun and a lot more goes into it.
We've talked to developers who, truthfully, when we ask for like the background of their game, there's some that there was really no.
They just
we didn't know where it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
It just we knew where it was going to start, but we never planned out like an ending or.
Mm-hmm.
It all had to kind of come together on the fly as they were building it. So it's like, I guess whatever works for you.
And then there's examples like Ghost of Tabor where, Scott's known the vision for Ghost of Tabor since the day.
Well, Scott's a gamer.
The day that he came out with it, yeah. And I think that's part of the reason they were able to streamline their building of that game so fast is because it was like, he knew exactly. He's like, this is how it needs to be. I feel like that helps, but it is really cool.
And knowing that, like, so I think people know Scott is just the owner of Combat Waffle. They don't really get the whole backstory of like other things he's done in life, and one of them being a competitive esports gamer. I mean, come on, dude.
Mm-hmm. That competitive mindset.
We've actually met some of the people he's played with too, like that were on his team. So it's just, the more you know.
Yeah, no, they're streamlined. Having that game out, in people's hands in a year makes sense when you dive into the characters behind it. But still impressive. Still impressive.
Yeah, that's scary.
But anywho, this next one's real cool because I'm like, I'm kind of interested in it. So it came out that Meta had reportedly canned their Quest Pro 2, and then Andrew Bosworth came out and he was like, well, here's the thing, we constantly have multiple prototypes and we're canning stuff all the time. That's the way things go. And I mean, I kind of believe that it's a little bit of a political business answer too, but I get that. It's like, if you have 4 prototypes, you can only go forward with 1, right? So that means 3 are going to get killed off. But did you really did you can it like it was ever going to come out? Or was it just, one of a couple prototypes that potentially, would go through, but only 1 could get greenlit? So news came out that they had reportedly canceled a Quest Pro 2. And in the same meeting that they quote unquote canned that one, apparently they greenlit a ultra lightweight Quest headset. I'm sorry, an ultra lightweight headset from Meta. I don't think it would be on the Quest line. That's going to be tethered into a puck, kind of like the Apple Vision Pro. But apparently it's going to be going for like a very, very lightweight and sleek build. I almost think like maybe even glasses style, but let's see. That's just speculation.
I don't know why they'd go a tethered route. If we're talking years away.
The only reason I could think is if it's not really going to be too much VR and mainly focused on AR, and it just needs that processing power at this stage to be able to do it. That's the only thing I could think of. I would
like to think anything, like 2 years out, won't be tethered and won't require.
You hope. I'm not a fan of tethered, but if it's for AR,
I honestly could see 2 years out having the puck, but not needing the wire for it to charge. You get what I'm saying?
Somehow wirelessly connect to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of like you can do with virtual desktop.
Yeah,
or like Quest Link and that
There'll
type
be
of
something.
stuff.
I have faith in the technology.
When I was reading this, I had more of a vibe that it's not going to be a gaming headset and it's going to be in more AR glasses.
It's going to be for work.
I don't even think that. I think it's going to just be for. I think my speculation, just based off of it being lightweight and needing the tethered to a puck. I think it's going to be like the first iteration into AR glasses, because like a year ago it came out that they wanted AR glasses that are controlled with a neural wristband by 2030. So I mean, this could be just their entry into that line of products. You know what I mean? And then by 2030, then you have it wireless with the neural wristband like you had on your roadmap. So
I actually am betting that a different company is going to drop really good AR glasses before Meta will.
Well, there's X-Real, which has...
I don't think it'll require a puck and a cable.
Yeah, X-Real requires a connection to, I think, a Windows computer or possibly even just an Android phone. But I mean, that one's quote unquote for productivity. It's like there's AR, but it's mainly with like virtual screens and stuff. What I think you want is like, you know, walking around AR glasses with like Google Map integration,
everything, grocery store,
and that type of stuff.
Mall,
That's what you mean.
Driving, walking.
Because somebody's gonna say, well, X-Real does, but you mean like daily walk around
These
AR
are your
glasses.
every day. You know, I'm in a new place, new city. You know, I'm at the grocery store. I just don't want to. I pre-put in my checklist, and it already knows all the aisles.
I don't think this is going to be a VR headset. I think this is going to be Meta's first attempt at that. But let's see. I mean, 2027 is still 3 years away.
I mean, even Apple in their ads, they're very creative with not showing the cable. You know, careful line of sight. So it just, to me, just erase the cable and the puck.
Yeah,
and work on your glasses. And
I think that we'll see that in 2030. But again, I'm speculative. I agree with you. Wires kill me.
2030 is a long time.
Well, you got to make some attempt before then, and I think that's this 2027 one. But let's see. I think they'll have their quest.
I got faith, Meta. Get rid of that damn cable.
Well, like you said, 3 years is a long. 2027 is a long way away. Still,
we don't know what kind of like you were never able to charge cell phones just on a little magnetic charger years ago.
Yeah, and who knows what new processing chip might come out between now and 2027. Absolutely. I agree with that.
Now let's see what Pico responds with.
But I'm interested, at least. I think I'd rather see a headset like this than a Pro 2, to be honest with you. If this is like if they're
but that's 2027. So I really think if they were going to drop a Pro 2, it probably would have been in 26. So we'll see.
Or even next year something.
You might be talking next month that Meta scraps their 2027 project, because already there's more than just that on the table.
No doubt. I don't like. That's why I kind of in this case believe Andrew Bosworth with it's not that we can the Quest Pro 2. It was just a prototype, and only one could get greenlit. That actually makes sense. That's like a reasonable answer. Like you said, there could be.
It was a little politically.
There could be 4 versions of this headset.
Answered. Yes.
Internal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There could be version 1, 2, 3, all named like Fluffy Wagon and Cloud Sky and all that weird internal code name shit, and only one's gonna end up making it through. So
Operation Eyeball Screen.
Yeah. All right, you want to hit the next one?
Yeah, man. So no surprise to anyone, as it was all over the freaking news. But Meta says Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is on hold indefinitely.
Oh no!
Which with the release of
GTA
6 coming out, and I think it's 25, man, if I remember, but I keep feeling 26. But regardless, it's all hands on deck working on that. We actually heard of how many people are potentially working on the project, the development side, and it was jaw dropping.
Well, I can't imagine Rockstar has any other project currently. I think if I were
they're doing Red Dead 3 and we don't know about it, and it's that close. But no, I'm so it's not shocking, but I don't for some reason my brain's not accepting indefinitely as forever. So we'll see what happens after the release of GTA 6.
Well, I think a lot of people interpret that article as that means it's canned, but like I think that I think every project in Rockstar is on hold indefinitely besides GTA 6.
Correct.
And
that is my understanding anyways.
That would make the most sense as well too. So I think that it might not even be that, oh no, this game's never going to come out. I think it's just going to be a thing that it's not going to be touched by Rockstar until GTA 6 comes out and they get that release done.
You know what's wicked cool?
What?
Whenever I hear Rockstar now, I used to just, anytime I ever heard Rockstar, I'd always mentally picture GTA or Red Dead as like what goes on in my brain. But now when I hear GTA, I think of Ben. Just knowing that he worked, I don't care if he, like, dude, I made coffee for everybody, which we know his role is much more important than that. But I'd still respect you for working for the company for
I have so
13 freaking years. Dude.
I have so much respect for him for leaving that to join the VR industry. Again, I think I said this the other week.
Last week.
I'll repeat myself, but if you want to talk about people in it for the money or whatnot, if you're leaving a gig at Rockstar to go to VR at a point where they're coming out with GTA 6 and you leave to go to VR, it's for the love of the game, for no other reason. Like, you're not in it for the money.
Name a developer we've talked to that you felt was in it for the money.
I don't think I can name one. I think
Right?
I don't know if we would complete the interview.
I know. I mean, dude, I know more developers that have made more money doing other stuff.
No, taking sacrifices, gone backwards for the love of the game.
Yep.
And Ben's one of them.
Every one of them's we said it last week and we'll probably say it anytime it comes up, but they're the ultimate freaking risk takers with a new medium.
You leave, I think that was his first gaming gig as well, his gaming industry gig as well too, if I'm not mistaken, was Rockstar.
You got to wonder if there was that one friend though. It was like, dude, the fuck are you doing?
Oh, I'm sure he heard it. I'm sure it wasn't just one. He probably still hears it, you know. But Ben's a rock star, man.
Well,
he's awesome.
You know what got me thinking too, though, is because you know the studio's fucking huge. But if people see him doing this, like his peers and stuff, and they're like, "Motherfucker, he pulled it off,
dude."
It's only going to encourage some of that talent to come. Thank you. It's only going to encourage some of that talent to be like, maybe we should get in on this VR thing.
This crazy mofo was right.
Yeah, but it's nuts.
Yeah, he is. I got a lot of respect for him, though, just because you know he's in it for
the passion of dude, how excited was his enthusiasm?
Genuine human being.
Right?
Just a great dude.
I'm loving that we met so many people, and I can't name one that wasn't what they've
put off
to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Some of them even more so in person than, through a freaking lens in a couple hours of their life.
And we'll be seeing a couple more too. And geez, this month, end of this month, of MetaConnect. What a crazy summer it's been. I mean,
been a crazy year. That's I've been posting that on social media all year. Like, this has been the year of like completely unplanned everything.
When we went to Sweden, that was a huge
Nothing
surprise.
According to plan.
And I thought that would be our one trip this year. And then a month later, we're back and we're in Germany. And now a month later,
2 months later.
2 months later, we're in Germany. And then a month later, when we were just like, we were pretty convinced we weren't going to Gamescom as well, too. It's funny how the way that things all come together.
That was a nail biter.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
why?
We just came back from Sweden. We're like, oh, I mean, that would be cool if we went to Gamescom, but is that going to happen? Probably not, right? And then it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got MetaConnect next month, or this month now. It's September.
That's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm so amped to see the Disneyland of VR.
The VR, yeah. That's where it all comes down, kids.
Call me a fatty, but I've heard good things about the food on the Meta campus, so that might be one of my most hyped things, dude.
I've heard a lot of things, but the one thing I've never heard anybody say anything bad about was the food.
That's like one of the not only not bad about, that's like the consistent thing people reference.
They abuse me, but the food is so good. It's like Stockholm syndrome at its finest.
I keep going back.
The rolls, dude. Can you smell that bread? Yeah, that's how. I mean, that's how they'd get me, man.
Too funny. So I'm hyped for that. That's going to be fun.
No, it should be a very good time.
What a year 2024 has been.
Mm-hmm.
So this next one's fun. I love the game.
One to beat, dude. And now you're working in the industry.
We just joined the Quest Creator Program the start of this year, in January, I think, right? And then we did our showcase. Yeah. I mean, dude, what a freaking year this has been.
Awesome.
I mean, it's been wild. It just gets crazier and crazier by the month. So you say 2025 is hard to beat, but I mean, I thought we hit our peak in June, you know? I thought we hit our peak in February after our showcase. I mean, and at this point, our showcase
feels
like
that
ages
was
ago.
Just having no expectations. It's like we're along for the ride, just with everyone else in the whole freaking universe doing their thing. So it's like, we're just cool enough that we can go with the flow.
Yeah. And look, we're not entitled people. If nothing comes our way next year, it's not like, oh man, 2024 is so much better. I mean, I'm just grateful to be a part of what I am.
I don't believe we've ever asked for anything other than,
or complained about not getting.
Well, I mean, I've asked for shell games. I expect you to die in wireframe. I've asked for walkabout mini golf shit, which, oh yeah, check out my shirt, man. I got my walkabout ambassador shirt.
Mm-hmm.
represent. I wore this day one in Germany too.
Mm-hmm. I wore a
This is what I wore in the cathedral, baby.
I wore a walkabout mini golf shirt to a meetup, like a get together in Germany, and I quickly realized I should probably wear a Ruff Talk.
Yeah, people wanted to buy it.
No, somebody walked up to me and was like, "Are you part of the walkabout team?" And I was like, "Oh, I get how this was a mistake on my end."
Well, yeah,
but it was only one person. It was only one person.
In big letters on the back, ambassador too. So it really screams like you have something to do with their studio.
Yeah, I was like, lesson learned here. Next time I'll wear Ruff Talk stuff or a blank shirt.
Speaking of shirts, though,
what, we got some cool ones?
Well, we did. We got a nice. I love the End Dreams blackout shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I showed it to Tracy. She's like, "Oh, I could do you guys. I'm kind of like that." I'm like, "Ooh, a Ruff Talk blackout shirt. I would do it." And then
I'm not wearing it now, but an Underdog shirt.
Underdog shirt's wicked cool.
Yeah, I want to go grab it almost, but then
the salsa shirt.
Yep, salsa shirt, Team Beef shirt. Shirts are like my favorite to get from a studio.
I don't have a Team Beef one.
No,
that's because they had limited ones when we first saw them, and
then things were just crazy.
That's the red.
Yeah,
you got the red one. I like their black one, dude.
Yeah,
with the bull on it. Get the fuck out. That's a good shirt.
Team Beef is awesome.
Yeah, we got some good shirts.
They're just genuinely good people too. Like talking, there are other people that's like meeting them in person. You feel no wonder why they're so good mods. Look at their enthusiasm and their passion. It makes sense when you meet them in person.
They're next level.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So speaking of Underdogs, since we saw them in Gamescom, like I said, I almost wish I was wearing the Underdog shirt. Love those peeps. They put out their new Sandboxer update that they put out with the tagline, "Build shit, break shit." Perfect for the Underdogs universe. Yeah, right? Oh, man, they do such a good...
Build shit, break shit, man.
They do such a good job with their character building. Like, even on their social media, they play that character. I mean, they do a great job with the vibe of their whole everything.
It's their lore, man. They created this.
Yeah.
This is their universe to have fun with, and you see a team that's having... Dude, there's the picture we got, the group shot with them.
Look at the excitement on them.
Every single face in that photo, including ours, is 100% just
happy. Oh, man, great
it is
people.
A fantastic studio.
Talking to Dave in our interview, and he's like, I moved to rough part of neighborhood where there's, what do you say went off outside his house? Molotov cocktail?
Fucking grenades. Dude, grenade.
Started doing Muay Thai just to get in character. I was like, I've heard of method actors, never a method game developer. So Dave is freaking...
He's the real deal, man.
He's a badass. He's awesome. And he was really cool to meet in person, too. But yeah, their new Sandboxer update, tagline, build shit, break shit, perfect. It comes with a level editor, which you can share
build
your...
shit, break shit.
It's a sandbox mode. Dude. So sandbox mode is pretty straightforward. You know, you get to just have fun with custom made shit. You can make your own levels. You can program the waves of enemies as well, too. Then you can share them, share the levels and stuff like that. And then there's also like a practice gym for you to try out builds of your mech. So, I mean, it's a cool game mode.
It's a great game mode, and it's a great game, and I just don't feel like it's gotten the push it needs.
The love? I mean, it's such a good game.
Like, if I was a promoter, I'd be like, we got a gem here. We got to figure out a way to push this up a little. Not that it's got bad reviews or bad placement.
One of the best games this year, if you ask me.
I'm assuming he's eating dinner every day.
I hope.
But I just like to see it just pushed a little harder.
I agree.
And I don't know. I don't even come with answers with that.
I mean, when you talk about, let's check some boxes.
Because it's a great product.
Great gameplay, great lore, great soundtrack.
Great voiceover.
Innovative.
Yeah, man.
Unique.
Great environment.
I mean, replayable. Just fun. It's one of the few single player VR games that I hop into if I have time.
Well, yeah, dude. Swing freaking haymakers.
Mm-hmm. So fun.
And it means something in the game. There's some games you can do that, and it doesn't really.
We've talked to them about co-op. I mean, and he kind of talked more about, I think if they had more the idea of PvP in mind as like a different title, even, which I think even just paying for a DLC attachment of online would make sense. This game deserves it. I mean, that's a lot of effort that goes into it, but I still want to just, in my own selfishness, do co-op runs with you.
I think the size of the arena would make it tough with that amount of movement.
Yeah.
You need some pretty massive.
Let me try it and figure out what's wrong with it.
What if
I feel like that would be, sorry.
What if they do and I don't want to call it Underdogs Part 2 because the 2 was not a good move, but Underdogs
Unleashed,
something
Unchained.
something. And then it was more the multiplayer story driven as well as PvP. So then they could just not have to fuck with what they've already got.
Yeah,
and be
I
like,
agree.
how are we going to make it work? Well, you can by starting from scratch.
Yeah.
On this new project over here.
Like Demio and Demio battles.
Correct. I'd still like to see Underdogs
get more of that push.
get
I
more
agree.
of a push. Yeah.
Again, one of the best games this year. Would you prefer PvP or co-op style runs?
It's funny because instinctively I'd prefer the co-op runs and just seeing how far we could get as a team. But it's made for PvP.
Mm-hmm. Do you think 1v1, 2v2? What's your brain go to? 1v1?
1v1. Yeah. If you throw too many mechs in there,
It's just a mess, especially with them gorilling all over the
bunch
place.
of fists. But if it was like a combat arena with the obstacles of destruction, like the grinder and shredder thing and the big stone thing that comes walloping down. Holy crap, dude. I mean, there's a lot of potential, but I think it would be easier to do from scratch than fuck with what already works good.
Well, they've created an amazing game universe that I think they could easily do spin-offs with. And
dude, they need little toys.
So much potential with Underdogs.
And
comic books.
Not for nothing. It's like, in true, what I'd expect from them as a studio. So like, again, you mentioned you almost got their shirt to wear today. Most companies, they give you, it's a t-shirt. I get it. It's like, I'll never knock it. And then Underdogs gives you more of that, like,
it's very comfy material.
No, it's just this like a sports jersey looking thing with from top to bottom is all colored up. It actually says something in different letters on the whole shirt if you stand back with it. The only difference between ours and his was his says Underdogs in big letters on the back.
Yeah, they're such cool people.
It's just over the top, But I'd almost expect nothing else than something over the top from them as a studio.
Yeah, still, man, and we're 9 months into the year now.
Just so you know, speaking of comfy.
Yeah, Walkabout Plays No Games. That
it's almost like they have me working in the
t-shirt making.
What kind of quality shirt would you like to send out? Because it's like my beef with shirts, if they're too heavy, is I don't know, I'm wearing a t-shirt on a hot day. I don't want to die in it.
The teal ones I got us when I visited them in Austin, those ones are real nice too.
Oh yeah,
for you too.
Same shit.
They do a great job.
Comfy.
So 9 months into the year, Underdogs is still one of my favorite releases this year. Amazing. If we're going to talk single player games of the year,
talk shit, get Hitman.
They're in my list of nominees right now.
For what now?
If we ever did like a single player game of the year specifically category, if I'm going to talk about single player games that I've enjoyed this year, they might be number one. I need to think about it though, but they're in my list. They're in my top. I can't think of many more single player games I enjoyed more than that. I mean, again, this year I'll put more thought into it. I'm just going off the top of my head, but I mean, dude.
I mean, I can't really argue. I'm sitting here trying to think of like a good counter off the top of my. I mean, then there's some good games that we could throw out there.
Yeah, I need to really sit and think about it, but just off the top of my head, no, I can't think of a better one.
They almost have their own kind of genre going on too. As crazy as that sounds.
So great,
even
stuff.
though they don't. You know what I'm saying? It's a one player story roguelite, which is just stupid that I keep liking these roguelites.
Yeah, these stop because I keep saying no more of them
in flat screen. I really, really do.
And then I love them in VR, and I don't know why. And I keep saying I'm done with them, and then Crumbling comes out, and then Underdogs come out.
What really did it for me was I was going to say Mother Gunship, but that's not really a roguelite.
Technically it is.
It is, but I just don't feel like it is. But it is because you unlock shit and then... But my only beef is when...
The Light Brigade.
When you eventually unlock everything. That's always a downer for me. Also why I don't usually veer to, when they give you an option in some games, like unlock everything.
No, that's the fun.
Yeah, I want to earn it because you can get burnt out real quick if everything's just there all of a sudden.
And by the way, that's why I would always prefer to pay $19.99, $29.99 for a game and just be able to unlock stuff through gameplay. Then I would prefer to have a free-to-play game that I have to buy stuff to unlock. I want...
Fuck that.
That's stupid to try
when
to get...
When you unlock stop, I stop.
Yeah, so it's like if to get unlocks I have to pay money, I'd rather just pay money up front and gamify the unlocking process than monetize it.
Make me earn it.
It's annoying.
But Mother Gunship, in fairness, I do have everything unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll still play it.
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
So cool stuff.
Still waiting on that other one, dude.
Great stuff from Underdogs.
So this one had me excited. Again, not to bring up Ben, but I guess we will. Train Sim World, New York. I'm going to assume that's New York City. But who knows? Maybe it'll be...
rolling through Queensbury, New York.
Lake George and shit. So we'll assume New York City, but Train
Buffalo,
Sim World,
New York in the winter.
Coming to the Quest. I can't read my own writing. Oh, okay. So Train Sim World New York is coming to the Quest. You can wishlist it now, and that's a co-collab with Dovetail and Just Add Water. So speaking of Ben from
Just Add
Water, add a little Dovetail to the mix. And we got to meet
Nick from
who was working on Train Sim, and we could have actually tried it. And I'm probably my only regret from Gamescom was not being able to go back to TrackCraft.
Yep.
In all fairness, and have a beer with them because they offered us a.
Things just got so crazy.
And then seeing him, that would be my only two.
I really hope next year all of the VR stuff.
Dude, they're gonna crush it with this game, you know.
Yeah, I know.
And I love knowing that Just Add Water is having a part in it.
Yeah,
yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. I like seeing good people win. I mean, I wish we could all win, but sometimes bad people win. So when you see people with that kind of energy, and what did Nick have? Good freaking energy, like right off the bat.
And this screams you.
Yeah, man, it's gonna scream me and a whole bunch of other people who have that train sim thing going on and we freaking flat screen, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong, it's fun in flat screen. There is a learning curve, especially with some of the modern trains, but to be able to physically know that you're going to be doing this with your hands, like your hands, man.
And just talking to Ben about, what's worked really good in other VRs.
It's going to have a horn too, right?
Hope so.
Right? Wicked loud ass fucking trains.
But just talking to Ben about like what's worked really good in other VR sims and what hasn't worked. It's like, I know he has a very good understanding of how to make this a very good VR experience.
Same
with Dig VR.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited for both those games, Dig VR and also Train
Sim. You can go
Sim.
from Dig VR to the real thing and you won't look like a total noob.
You know what, man?
That's pretty impressive.
We love these style of games. Do you remember City Skylines VR didn't get a bunch of love when it dropped?
It's a great game.
I loved the VR version on the Quest, but people didn't really like it.
I think it's just part of that natural wave of gaming, and unfortunately in VR when it happens, it's like terrible for everything else. But I don't think people were really wanting that sim experience like that. Like, why would I want to play Sim City in VR?
Whereas we've been screaming about it since we got our headset.
It's like we want the full potential of everything.
Civilization VR, please. They're coming out with a new Civ. You want to know what's even more painful? There's an article from like 2016 with Sid Meier's being like, "Oh yeah, we're totally interested in Civilization on VR. That's inevitable."
I mean, I know somebody we could pitch it to.
Sid Meier's,
like for real,
please. Who put it in VR?
I'm not even gonna mention him.
You can do an old one. Do like Civ 3 in VR or something. That's fine, dog. That's fine. That's what Tropico did. It's a good time. Without
mentioning him or her or the game involved. But how cool was it on one of the days in Gamescom when such said person came up and was like, "Oh, I talked to so-and-so last night and I did it because of you, just to try to get the title." Like, unfortunately, I couldn't because it's already being worked on. But I'll keep all that. That was pretty freaking cool.
Good.
But someone out there could easily do your game, dude.
For all I know, Civilization VR has been in the works for 3 years, and they're just like listening to me say this
every
week.
They're just flipping you off every week is what they're doing.
All right, delay it one more week. Delay the announcement one more week.
I kind of get it it's going to take someone else doing it because they just make so much bank off of their flat screen. It's how do you tell someone like, "Hey, dude, you made $5 billion off your title. How'd you like a couple mil?" It's like, nah, it just doesn't. We pay our interns more. It's a different ballgame,
dude.
But somebody's going to do it. I have faith.
Even if it's there's the Civilization main titles, Civ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. But then they also put out for iOS and consoles Civilization Revolution, which was not as good. It's a different style. I like their base Civilizations too. A lot more. But they could start with that just as a proof of concept because it's a little bit more speed playing.
Listen to your own disappointment and it's not as good. So you don't want that to be your first VR experience with that franchise.
But I'm thinking of so
just to feed that.
I would say Civilization would be a great VR title because a lot of times things are measured by how long people are spending in the headset, and Civilization is the king of one more turn. I mean, people are going to burn their headset batteries playing this game, kill it 10 times over.
What's a great title?
What?
Price is Right, Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, all those styles.
Jeopardy.
Yeah, I agree. All those Hasbro sitting on a landmine. But what I was going to say is their push against it might be, people can't complete a whole game in a headset chart, blah, blah, blah. Even though I think that, dude, just let people burn their headsets. They're going to have a great time with it.
Yeah, there is a save button.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I think that's a mute
Wouldn't
point.
be the first game that's gone through batteries.
But if that's their push, I mean, they have a speed style of Civ already developed with Revolution. So, I mean, that's kind of the reason I said it. But I would prefer to see even a past Civ 3,
good
Civ
quality
4.
product come out.
Yeah. Civ Revolution wasn't bad, but it's just different. It's speed Civ. It's
I don't think it's the best representation of it.
No. Did you ever play those offshoot ones?
Not the offshoots, no.
No, they're not bad. Like I said, they're good for a flight or something like that. You're sitting on a plane or something. I don't know. But I still prefer base Civ. But we can keep going. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Were you the last one?
I don't know. What'd you say?
My last one was the Underdogs.
Oh yeah, then you were. Boy, we got off base with that. Holy crap, dude. All right, cool one.
Oh, you might have been with Just Add Water and Trains.
Oh, you know what? I was.
Okay. Well, I don't care. Do you want to just go with yours? We'll go off the beaten path.
Go ahead.
This next one is just a quick one anyway. There's a new game coming out, Hunting VR. It's out now, actually, on the Quest for $19.99.
I want it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking, why isn't there a hunting game in VR since we got our headset? It kind of
makes
makes
loving
sense.
the graphics, but I want it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a medium that makes sense. There's so many shooting games already. It works. I mean,
when you're the only player in town, though,
yeah,
you can do whatever you want.
So I'll definitely pick this one up. This one looks fun. I agree with you about the graphics, though. It's got heavy cel-shaded graphics with the environments. The animals don't look too bad, as weird as that sounds. Those look really...
They don't look like...
the best ever? No.
I said during the trailer, I'm like, the hunting, true hunting one, you want to go for as much realism as you can.
Well, then I tried to be like, well, they might have just had to do cell shaded to get all the size of the environments to work. You go, I play Grim on the Quest. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, if I can play Grim and it looks
not
as
cell
good
shaded,
as it looks. Yeah, that. Oh my God, I can hear Spoon getting in his car and driving down here to punch us both in the mouth.
And look, cell shaded is one of those things that I really hate seeing it in trailers, but when I actually play it, it never seems to bother me as much. But I still, like you said, you are 100%
Depends
correct.
on the genre.
For hunting, you want realism. Yeah. I get what you're saying, 1,000,000%.
Not there to kill some arcadey shit.
But this one, at least you have a hunting dog with you the whole time. That's cool. A couple different environments.
And it's the first one that I know of on the Quest that's
simple name.
Like this, so.
Hunting VR, perfect. Boom, when you're the only one, you can easily get away with a name like that. There's 22 different species, a couple different weapons, a hunting lodge to unlock shit, cool stuff. So,
and until I play it, I won't dog it as far as the graphics, but just on the trailer, I was like, ah, man.
I agree. For hunting, you want that realistic.
And I own all the flat screen hunting games, so it's and some of them are kind of cartoony. I won't lie. Mm-hmm. It's graphically, you're but the newest ones are just fucking fantastic.
Yeah. We've been talking about this as a game genre missing for years, but there's one I wanted to talk to you off air about, and I want to see if I'm like, why doesn't this exist in VR? I'm curious your thoughts.
We could go all day, just cherry pick games from flat screen that could easily transition to VR. So I kind of get why there's companies doing this. Mm-hmm. There's an endless pit of games to go through. Anyways, one that we got to try selfishly, but Escaping Wonderland with Cortopia Studios and Beyond Frames at the helm, which we did take a little sneaky peek before. Launches September 26th, so 25 days from now, $19.99 pre-order for $17.99. either one's a good price for what you're getting. And I can't wait to actually complete it, because I won't spoil nothing that I might know or not know, but it's a damn good experience.
Yeah. I'm excited for this one to drop as well, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see. And what we've seen of it, the graphics are great, and there's actual reason to play.
Mm-hmm. Who doesn't love some Alice in Wonderlands, right?
Yeah. I don't want to say nothing too deep, but I don't think people will be disappointed, especially completionists.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're going to get me. So
awesome. So this next one's really cool too. So Les Mills XR Body Combat, which we've loved for a while now.
Get wrecked, mate.
From Otter's Lab. They just launched a new DLC for $8.
Nudity.
They launched a new DLC for $8, bringing 8 new workouts, new game mechanics, 25 new songs, and some, cosmetics. That's kind of cool.
It is. I got a little sad the first time I ever heard them doing DLC, only because they give you so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I get how they keep it going.
A lot of games, a lot of these fitness games, they're gonna charge you much more than $8 every month.
We've always said it. What you get for the base price of Les Mills is
you never have to buy a DLC.
Anything else? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it bummed me out that they had to go DLC, but it was inevitable anyways. Mm-hmm. It needs to happen.
I think they've done. This is their second one, I think.
Yep.
So they've added some free content
though,
too,
dude. Good price.
Yeah. Good trainers. Really good trainers.
Yeah. Some of our favorites.
Yeah, Dan and Rachel are beasts.
They were awesome to talk to, dude.
Mm-hmm. And looks like they're still in the trailers and stuff. So that's still gonna be a trailer.
I was hoping that wasn't going to change.
I would have been very upset if they were.
They weren't in the dance one. They weren't yelling at me, so that kind of bummed me out.
Yeah,
I want them to always be my trainer. Make them dance.
Isn't that messed up? That it's not like the trainers for that other one were bad or anything. It's just you already had such a connection with Dan and Rachel.
Yeah, because I was like, I hope they're in it. Then I'm like, oh.
Well, we had commented on it when we reviewed the game that, you've seen these type of fitness things since they were on VHS. You've seen them develop for a while. You've always looked at them, and a lot of those trainers they're corny. It's a really hard thing to pull off. Then, when they go Taibo and stuff like that, it's easy to cross a line.
$1 billion industry, though. Jesus.
But Dan and Rachel are like two of the few that were like actually really authentically good.
Their energy in the game and their
not being corny,
to motivate
without being corny.
Yeah.
Just being silly, making you laugh, but keeping you motivated. They actually did a really good job with it, and that's not easy to do virtually.
I know their live shows they do and they get massive audiences.
Yeah, we didn't know how big Les Mills was.
They're like legit rock stars in the industry for fitness, but their energy is real.
And we met one of the people from Otter's Lab at Gamescom as well, too, so that was really cool as well, too. Great studio. They also did Chess Club VR. They also did O-Shape. So they got quite
figured out a way to get us to keep our mouth shut. Chess Club.
Yeah. Not many games can do that.
Nope.
So much so that Tracy was even like, are you guys playing anything?
You guys all right? You stroking out there?
No, I'm trying to beat this mofo. You don't understand.
Gotta think.
There's no talking.
This is war, woman. This is war.
So before we continue too much, we'll do our Patreon shout out. Oh, do you have one more before that, actually? Yes. Yep. There we go.
So this one we did get to try. I actually think we both make an appearance in the trailer, or a trailer, along with
a funny social media video that they posted.
Along with Eric.
They posted an awesome clip on social media of like what it looks like in VR versus what it actually looks like.
Yeah, and it's definitely accurate. Because what you think, we heard that a long time ago when we interviewed Unplugged.
Yes,
we're like, oh, dude, I'm fucking like a rock star. And
he's like, no, you're standing.
Did you ever record yourself playing this game? Because you're not at all doing what you think you're doing. You're just standing there all strumming, all da 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 da. All right, but Spatial Ops from Resolution Games. Coming out late 2024. So that means it could be tomorrow or it could be
December 31st.
December 31st at 11:59:59. But it is coming. It's fun. I think it's going to be great for more of that company type size play environments.
VR arcades as well, too.
Oh, yeah. VR arcades could crush it with this one. I'd have padded floors. for people like you that are going to like literally power slide across the floor.
I was on some shit that day. I don't know what was up with me. I was fucking into it.
But I know you had fun. I had fun.
I had way too much
fun. I'm going
fun.
to assume Eric had fun.
Laser tag on steroids to me.
Yeah, man.
It was so fun.
Different weapons.
Environments to hide behind, which those walls might as well be there for you, right?
I wasn't walking through them.
Dude.
Isn't that weird?
Dude.
Like the wall's there, but you don't walk through it. You walk around it.
I'm so sold on AR because of how my mind accepts mixed reality gaming.
And then playing it with like energy and excitement, it's like, yeah, you're pretty much going to believe everything in that moment in time.
Yeah.
And we played with 2 of the developers,
and
which gives an unfair advantage, but they weren't immune.
Felt good to get kills
killed
on them. I still took first in the free for all.
I loved I got 1 kill and I heard I don't even know who it was in real life, but I'm like, I heard someone go, where did that even come from? And I was literally like standing right there because we were running all around. So I flanked them.
Yeah, flanking was why I was running so much, because flanking was again all my kills.
It's a good game. It's a good use of mixed reality.
And now there's kind of a second style of that coming out too with Last Stand from Soul Assembly, which we got to try at Gamescom, which is a lot less physically active. Like, you can
do it standing in one spot.
You can get face to face with each other in Spatial Ops too. Like you're going to run around a set up room, whereas in Last Stand, you're each in like separated areas that really aren't that big. So of course you can go up, down, dodge and stuff like that, but there's less like room running around than Spatial Ops. So they
probably
are
like 30, 40 feet away.
But we're seeing 2 different PvP mixed reality shooters come out on the Quest. How crazy is that? This genre is becoming a thing.
Well, at least 2 of them.
Yeah. And both are fun. Both we've played and can attest. It's freaking cool. I think Last Stand might be a little bit more palatable for at-home play. And I think Spatial Ops is going to become like one of the premier VR arcade games if they decide to license it like that.
I don't know.
Dude.
It's definitely arcade worthy.
Yeah, I would go.
But I know there's also companies that make games just for the arcades. Instead of just pulling them from.
A lot of the most popular VR arcade games are existing flat screen ones. Like
laser tag in itself in VR and an arcade would be fun.
I've heard people joke like you'll make a fortune just off Elven Assassin and Beat Saber in your VR arcade. Elven Assassin apparently is one of the most popular VR arcade games. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Elven Assassin.
I question the truth to that. The only way to know would be to talk to some owners.
Yeah, anybody can chime in, please, because this has always been what I've heard.
Please tell me that those 2 games are paying your bills.
I've always heard that those are like 2 of the most popular, so I'd love to hear if that's true or not. I mean, I don't have firsthand experience, right? So only one way to know, like you said.
We did talk to the one in Rhode Island, which is cool.
So, dude, if Resolution decides to go this way, like I could see myself, somebody that has VR, I own at this point 3 headsets. I would go to a physical location to play with, 6 of my friends as like a game meetup together. Because am I realistically going to be able to do that in my home? No. But like to be able to play Spatial Ops with 6 people in a VR arcade, yeah, I would pay for that.
Or what about like a ginormous player,
like a warehouse?
Yeah, or a gym.
Yeah,
like a basketball gym.
Yeah, I would pay for that with the headsets and everything like that, whatever the hour fee or whatever is. That would be such a blast with friends. So be curious if they go that route. So anywho, on to our Patreon shout out. I actually think we didn't do one last week with our Gamescom wrap up because it was just like a collection of different recordings combined together. So huge props this week to our Patreon supporters on our on-air shout out tier. Huge appreciation for all of you. We have Asim, Carson, Amelia, Aspire Mike, Earth Witness, Jake, Crispy, and Shoes. So thank you all for your continued support month after month. Thank you to all the listeners that tune in, listen to us ramble on and on about the latest and greatest in VR, and have really kind of grown with us in this journey through the podcast as well, too. So great stuff. You can become a member of the Patreon, a supporter, by visiting the link in our show notes, where you can also find a link to our always hyped Discord server that is loaded with great VR discussion, great music discussion, book clubs, flat screen gaming, PC VR gaming, game meetups, just overall a chill place to be. So you can go visit that that, join that community of fellow Ruff Talk VR listeners by visiting the link in our show notes. And hey, if you're feeling generous, maybe even drop us a little 5-star review. That never hurts either. So thank you, everyone. So again, huge shout out to our Patreon peeps and everyone that tunes in week after week. So back to
reminds me of Xbox.
Yeah, I like
every time I look at it.
So back to the VR news, though. So we have NFL Pro Era 2024-2025 edition. They're going to a live service model, which means they're going to kind of keep the same app just with constant updates, it sounds like. If you were a prior purchaser of NFL Pro Era 2, you get access to the 2024 and 2025 season edition for $19.99, and all new players, the game is $39.99. So it is kind of cool to see them like, hey, if we're going to do this yearly edition thing, if you were a previous purchaser, though, you only pay 50% off versus somebody just hopping in right to it. It's a little bit easier to justify that, yearly upgrade or should I say update. In some cases, knowing sports games, it's not always an upgrade. Sometimes it's just an update with new players and such. But in this version, they're going to actually add defensive gameplay. The game was always, playing as the quarterback before and on the offense, and, throwing and then running with the ball and such. Now it's actually, you're going to have a defensive play as well, too.
No, man. I didn't know they had the player base to support doing the yearly new game, but I'm thinking they're willing to make that investment to make that happen. So
I also think part of it's that of the people that buy it, most of them are probably existing sports game players, and they're so used to that market that you just play. You buy the newest one every year.
Madden. I mean, it just.
I bet you to the point that if they didn't put out a yearly edition, there would be a vocal group of their player base being like, "Where's the next version after a year?" I feel like sports fans, that's what they want.
I just think it's cool they're willing to make the investment, whether it's truly making the money needed to justify that or not. It's like they're making their mark as we will be the Madden of VR
with the official NFL license. Do you remember? I mean, two funny things actually. One was your video on TikTok getting flagged due to NFL crowd noises. That was
fucking
funny.
Crowd, yeah.
They got the crowd noises copyrighted.
Haven't posted one of their games since.
That's freaking hilarious that the crowd noises are copyrighted.
The only flag I've ever gotten, too.
And the reason he recorded it is because it was so badass walking out of that tunnel onto the field. It was a really cool experience.
Right in Foxborough, Gillette Stadium.
Honestly, and that was back on the Quest 2 with the first version. So who knows how much it's graphically improved too. I mean, and props to them that it was a really good immersive experience in that.
But coming out of the tunnel the first time was one of the best VR experiences I ever had for a sports game. I'm like, it felt legit. Like you're never gonna. Well, you can go your whole life. You're never gonna walk out to a sold out stadium coming through the players' tunnel.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like with them cheering and shit,
dude. Matt,
it's not going to happen.
And we're not even like diehard football fans.
No, not at all.
Imagine
I watched
being
the
one.
Super Bowl. That's it.
Imagine being one though, and now you're walking through the tunnel onto your fucking stadium.
I got so many jokes. I got jokes for days just on that sentence. I've seen a lot of football fans. They ain't walking out of no tunnels. You know what I'm saying? I've also seen a lot that are jacked and roided to the gills too. So
you're just being funny. You're just being funny. Yeah. But
I just picture that like the weekend warrior guy. You know, the guy who can coach a team better than the people who coaching it.
But if I liked football, if I liked football in the way that I like MMA, I mean, dude, this would be like I would probably.
Dude, the experience was great just being a quarterback,
and you got to play a whole season.
Mm-hmm.
So
there was some kind of repetitive shit now and then that I probably wish, but I give them credit for evolving, and I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to be being able to play defense now. So,
and I never played the second version. I never played NFL Pro Era 2.
Nope, I did not.
NFL Pro Era 1 was good. I don't have any comment on 2. I think it was like a minor upgrade, is what I had always heard. But I can't attest that myself without playing.
I do not know, sir.
But this next one, hey. And they're actually going to do a live service model, like I said in the beginning. But onto that, they're going to do $4.99 updates throughout the season of content updates, which to me, I'm like, what can you update throughout the season besides like rosters, right?
Well, I mean, the flat screen ones, you can allow it to update in real time. So if a player's injured,
but you don't got to pay $4.99 for that. So I'm curious what they're going to sell for $4.99 mid-season and stuff. You know,
I don't know, man.
I don't like that
use
part
caution
of the equation.
with the amount of money you try to pull.
Yeah,
it would be my biggest advice.
I think that
even a football fan will tell you to go fuck yourself.
Correct. I think that they should stop with the game cost $39.99 for new players, $19.99 for existing players.
Yeah, it's a good bone that they didn't have to do.
And then don't try to milk the $4.99 multiple times midway through the season. With what? I can't imagine. What, you're going to sell new positions? Because if so, that's a bad way to go,
I don't
too.
think that would be what it is.
I hope not. So I'm curious.
I don't think in a million years that would be.
I'm curious what it is that comes with that $4.99.
Maybe skins.
Maybe. Classic
Custom
teams.
Yeah, like throwback jerseys.
1997, whatever. You know, that's possible.
Throwback shit.
Yeah. Okay, that's possible. I can see that.
That I could see.
Yep,
and
that's
then,
reasonable.
Then I'm not even upset about it
because it doesn't enhance gameplay. It's just cosmetic. It's like Pop 1 skins.
Because every everybody's got their, even if you're not a fan, it's like, who are you going to root for? You know what I'm saying? So
correct.
That's not bad.
Dude, it's the 1987 Bears. Come on, you know.
Dub Bears. It was before your time. It was funny. It used to be oh man, I can't remember who was the dude who did it. But they would do he would pretend to be like Mike Ditka and shit. Dub Bears.
I have a friend that's been a Bears fan, as his number one team since high school.
Bastard.
Yeah, that's it. But I know one day in our lifetime it's going to come around for him, and there's nobody that I'm going to be able to be like, I'm happy for you more than him.
It'd be funny to be like, dude, I bounced to the Cowboys a decade ago. Fuck the Bears. No, the Bears have been in the Super Bowl before.
Yeah. I just don't know. I don't follow football
80s.
enough. Yeah, probably not in his life.
Like the 80s, dude. Well, think of how bad Red Sox fans.
Yeah.
Generations.
I wish I cared about sports. We were so spoiled in our state.
People born and died.
What
and they
major
never
sport
fucking won.
What major sport haven't we won in the last 10 years? I mean, dude, 20 years. We kick ass.
Dude, we came close one year to every one of our teams being the best.
I'm so, I don't care about...
We're spoiled in New England.
I don't care about sports. And every year growing up, we won one major sport at least.
But when your state has a football team, a basketball team, a hockey team,
a baseball, you said baseball, I think.
Yeah, soccer team.
We have every major sport. Soccer team ain't winning shit that I know of. I've never heard of that. But
our soccer attendance sucks in the States.
But
it always has.
All the major sports, dude, we always win the titles. That's just like a yearly thing to be.
We always win.
We do. We always win at least one sport major title. It's like just so casual to me. I just don't really care about it, but it's funny.
It's when every one of them will win in that year. That's when it's going to be special.
What a crazy thing to have to recognize as being special. For most states, they win one thing. It's like a big thing. You're like, dude, when we win every major sport in 1 year,
been there, done
then
that.
I'll care.
And the Bruins won again.
That's you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Celtics,
no, dude, I get it.
Celtics won again. Awesome. The Red Sox won again. Awesome.
Yeah, well, that's not. keep it realistic. They had a couple of, I'm happy they broke their losing streak.
Yeah, that happened in my lifetime.
But they haven't exactly gone on the gangbuster.
That kicked off my memories of us winning every fucking sport every year.
It's historic because, again, people were born and raised and, the jet was manufactured and come out longer than the Red Sox had ever won a World Series. It's like so much time, dude. So I'm happy that people actually got to see it and then got to see it a couple more times. Might never see it again, but who knows? I'm not exactly a Red Sox-y fan. Great stadium, though. Great ballpark, Fenway. Historic to the bones.
Saw Bill Burr there.
Yeah. And they had chance to renovate sections and they were like, fuck no. We want it smelling like piss over here. We do, like those wooden bathroom area. Yeah. But anyways, it's a very historic ballpark. All right, this next one, Arizona Sunshine Remake, the original, not part 2.
Which we had a blast with part 2.
Some of the best voice acting, dude. Nice adult humor. Will be coming out this year on Quest and Steam, October 17th. If you get it early, you can get it for a reduced value.
I think what it is that current people that own the original one
get it for a reduced price.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to read my own writing.
I know, man.
You know what it is? Look at the bleed.
Mm-hmm.
The pen's bleeding. But we got solutions for that too. We're already on top of fixing that issue.
So yeah, current players, if you own Arizona Sunshine 1 already, you get the remake for a reduced price.
I'm wondering how that's going to actually work though.
Yeah, I don't own the original. I'll be honest with you. I never played the original because by the time we were like, okay, so we get Quest headsets. Well, after the fall came out, which was so kick-ass.
After the fall took a lot of our time.
So that took a lot. And now Arizona Sunshine 2 came out. And in between that, I mean, Arizona Sunshine 1 was still, it was like $40. It was still ranked pretty high price-wise for a game that had been out for so long and was pretty dated. So some people tell me, though, that they still had more fun with the original Arizona Sunshine than the remake. I mean, sorry, than the sequel, than 2, which I can't comment on. I never played the original. But Arizona Sunshine 2 was so fun to me, so I see why they are doing this remake. If they got that feedback that, hey, the sequel's fun, but I like the original more, then hell yeah, remake the original.
Well, we know the original's got a strong fan base. I'm assuming that everyone who played the original probably played the second one anyways, and then they came to their conclusion. But I did leave out it is also coming out on PSVR 2, so that's actually huge.
I like that we're starting.
Which could be the real reason for the remake, more so than just making a remake, was we need to put it out on PSVR 2, and in order to do that, we need to make it a little better. And if we're going to make it a little better, then why not re-release it on the headset so it looks a little better and you have a better experience? So I kind of get the big picture.
The original came out 2016, and then, of course, that's not when it came out on the Quest, because Quest wasn't out yet. I'm pretty sure it launched on the Quest pretty early into it out there, 2019, 2020. So, dude, it's dated. It was time.
Love it, man.
So
it's a great franchise.
For people like me and you that have only played the sequel as well, too, it's going to be freaking badass to be able to go into the original. Updated graphics, updated everything together in co-op. I'm excited. Now we really get to experience the full franchise.
They were also represented at Gamescom.
Yeah, Vertigo Games, man, always hustling. One of the top
a nice
studios.
Picture of the zombie.
Yeah, one of the top studios in VR for good reason.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Right in Amsterdam as well too, which isn't too far from Germany. So
no, it was like an hour.
Yeah, I actually think they have multiple studios. They have Amsterdam, Rotterdam, a couple of them. So badass company. They've had a great year, couple of years with releases too.
It's weird because it's like I'm seeing all these studios that are really pushing forward, but then, and you see it more on LinkedIn in the socials of like, I just saw one today of a studio that's closing down 3 of their locations and just going to 1. So it's weird to see that constant shift in the industry. But the ones that are, the fucking Mighty Coconuts, Beyond Frames, Fast Travel, Resolution. These are all studios that I just see keep pushing forward.
Combat Waffle
just started. Dude.
Every time we talk to Scott, he goes, I'm not hiring any more people. Then we talk to him a month later and there's more people.
I got an extra 20. But I mean,
it's because they need it.
But these are the studios that are like, you're not hearing on social of the struggle. So there's something to learn from those people that are weathering all this. Vertigo Games, Shell Games. Also seeing in what studios do more than just games is also kind of eye-opener in some cases. It's like, wow, okay, you've spread yourself out good.
Like 3 Pound Games is a great example of that.
That's
as
a great
too.
one. Yeah. So. Or ones that do also programs specific for businesses.
You know what I like about Vertigo as well, too, is that you look at their titles, most of them get a lot of updates post-launch. Like Arizona Sunshine 2 got a healthy amount. After
the
fact fall
that they're even doing a Arizona Sunshine Remake, when they theoretically could have just done it for the PSVR 2. No, they're just a great studio. And they care. I mean, they love their product. They believe in their product. I don't think they're going nowhere.
No. So cool stuff. The only part that ever worries me is that they're owned by Embracer. And I always get worried when people are owned by big mega collaborating conglomerates.
If they're not owned by Google, then I'll breathe.
Yeah.
But if it's like a Google shadow company, then it's like, oh man, my condolences.
Because it always sucks when these big groups need to make cuts, because sometimes they even cut profitable studios just because they need to trim what they own.
I'd be scared shitless to have backing from Google. I would be. I'd be acting like I didn't have a job.
It's not only Google either. It's like all these mega companies. They just, when they have a big portfolio of owned companies, when it comes time to trim, they just indiscriminately trim the fat.
At the end of the day, you're not even what you are. You're, 000 68 74 52. And it's like, what is that line I'm looking at? What is that? It's like, oh, that's what we pay so-and-so studio. Like, no, not anymore. We don't.
But Vertigo's been hustling. Hopefully
they're doing well.
Hopefully they make enough of an impact that there's no cutting them.
I see studios weather storms, and there's been a few in the past couple of years. Some of them really serious, and these studios are just pushing forward. So,
absolutely. So, were you the last one? I think so. Obviously with Arizona Sunshine. So this next one's cool because we're not really PSVR 2 peoples, but love the studio, love the game. Max Mustard from Toast Interactive is coming to PlayStation VR next month on October 3rd.
For 99 cents?
For 90% off? No, I'm just kidding.
99% off.
What a marketing campaign they did.
Never again.
But hey, again, they did it as a little Easter egg inside their game. We've talked about it before too. They were the first to do it, and they didn't. Not even something they promoted. It's just something they put inside.
Just went out of control.
Hey, it's shoes sticking his head through elevators.
Went out of control.
Don't.
It was a great promotion though. It was genius. But to be the first at it should have been the last at it.
Yeah, so it was a genius promotion for them. The 20 that came after, maybe not as much.
But you never know what's in other games. We've talked to developers that claim there's still
Easter eggs that haven't been found.
Yep, you haven't found them yet.
Yeah, for all you know, there's a 100% discount in some game that nobody's found yet.
Right. The next 10 games, 100% off.
Some hidden Beat Saber DLC pack that no one's ever found or something like that, you know? I'm just kidding, too. I'm speculating. People go nuts.
Damn, bro. So good for Max Mustard, still making moves. And another great studio.
Another one.
Claim to fame of Richie's Plank
to Max Mustard.
Max Mustard.
I still hop in Max Mustard, too. If we're going to talk about single-player games, game of the years, like I've talked about with Underdogs.
It's old schooly.
Max Mustard would be in the list of nominees as well.
I like the old school style of it.
You know, they did a great job.
Collect coins.
Well, they did a great job.
Figure out how to get from A to B.
And then you have a use with the coins. You bring them to the shop to unlock new things, too. It's cool stuff.
No two levels exactly the same. It's cool, man. Out of Hand, available now on Steam. So, boom.
Out of Hand came from Beyond Frames as well, too. They were the publisher of that one.
Just crushing it.
That was a fun one.
My advice to any studio when you're negotiating with your game and you get an offer from Beyond Frames is like, if you don't take it, then don't come to me and say that you were given an offer and you didn't take it. They're out of your mind.
There's yet to be a Beyond Frames title I haven't loved. You know,
dude,
Wands Alliance.
If you pitched an idea to 3 studios and they were one of them, and they were like, no, sincerely, we believe in this project and we'd like to work with you. Would it even take a
dude,
thought?
They're the premier publisher to me.
Thank you.
Them and Fast Travel, both in Stockholm.
They're both great at what they do.
Crush it. Fast Travel goes a little bit more to the indie titles with their publishing wing, and I mean, I've just never been disappointed by Beyond Frames. Like I said, Wands Alliance.
Dude, we've joked for years with Fast Travel.
Get your game
to the
fast,
store,
yeah.
Quick.
You go Fast Travel.
Boom. But I mean, these companies have to also believe in your product. But there's damn, dude.
Wands Alliance, Ghost of Tabor, dude. Like you said,
soon to be some more. That's crazy.
Yeah, like you said, Escaping Wonderland. I'm so hyped for that one. We didn't talk about too much on that one, but
having the because I don't want to
diverse portfolio of games that
I might
are
know
all great
stuff, and I don't want to ruin it because it really is going to be a great experience.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that one. So great stuff from Beyond Frames, and it's cool to see Out of Hand, a great, unique, bouncy old game, go from the Quest also to Steam VR for those type of players. Going to Steam.
Push that marketing campaign hard on that one.
So this next one, this is cool. I love to see that Upload VR has been giving them coverage because it's a small little indie dev that we talked to. And you know what? I love when just good, passionate developers get
today's indie
coverage.
Dev is tomorrow's AAA dev, though.
Right? Solera One, a VR space meditation app, which we talked to the developer a couple months ago as well, too.
I liked it a lot.
Well, you know what's crazy about it graphically being so good? It just got a new update, bringing a graphical enhancement as well, too.
It's the guy's next level.
As well as a new environment, smooth turning to the game because it was only snap turning before. So there's a new environment, enhanced graphics, and some quality of life fixes as well, too. So when I saw a graphical enhancement, I was like, I didn't think it needed it, but that's awesome that it's getting it. I got to go hop in and see how fucking beautiful it looks now.
Yeah, because it
was good
some
before.
of them shots, dude, were really, really, really good.
Like, when I heard of anything coming to it, graphical enhancement was not my number one thought.
But it's cool because for what little you have to do and what's going on, you can put a lot of that focus and energy into the graphics instead of like
Red Matter 2.
Bullets and shit like that.
That's how Red Matter 2 was. That's part of the reason they were able to really milk it as hard as they did too, because most of it's a slow burn exploration.
For their time, they're like the original OG of crushing those Quest graphics to me.
I remember that scene in Red Matter 2 when you're in this open big spaceship area.
Yeah.
And it's like this big white room. Yeah. And it's like you're just looking at your hands, and it's like that was on Quest 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll forever be like, they pushed it to the limit.
Oh my goodness.
There was not an ounce of energy to take more. They used it. It was gone.
Unbelievable developers.
And then did an enhancement for 3.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out there.
Red Matter 2 is so beautiful. What a great visual experience.
I was going to say, as far as showing and I would say more so with the 2 than the 3, but really showing people what is capable with a headset. You pop that in, it's like, dude, you believe anything.
Remember we played Red Matter 1 and 2 back to back?
Mm-hmm.
Both are, Red Matter 1 still holds up. Recommend that. Starting there and then going to 2. Both are amazing games. For puzzle and exploration
One
games,
of the rare games that puts a 2 in their name and does well too, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, they did good.
Right? Dude, I mean, they lived off of their reputation of graphics.
But that was also a game that Chris Pruitt was hyping up a lot when we interviewed him.
Mm-hmm.
So internally in Meta, they loved it. I'm sure it got a nice little push.
His game's on the store too.
And it's cool to see they didn't market it really at all. I mean, the reason I say it's cool to see that because nobody can say like, look how biased they are.
Dude, the bias would be as if it was like, oh my God, it's perfect stars. It's got 10,000 ratings.
I didn't see them do any marketing for it either.
The only marketing I heard is when we talked to him and he said he had a game coming out.
Mm-hmm. And it was on
horror.
It was on the Go before. It was on the Oculus Go, and they just brought it to the Quest, and
so it didn't
do any marketing.
Zero
push.
favoritism.
No, if anything, they probably pushed it less because of it. But it was cool to see. He was a cool dude. I'd love to get him back on as well too, because it's been 2 years. There's no ABOB anymore. It's a completely different state of the industry now.
Yeah, everything we talked about before is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. He'd be a fun one to check in with. I mean, dude, the industry is just now 180. So I mean, I feel like we need to do a check in. That would be not that they need to do anything.
Trying to lock down a Meta employee.
No, it's impossible.
Is like,
good luck.
Go
Jason
stumble
Bigfoot.
over a gold brick in the desert. No, Bigfoot was Spoon.
Dude, I'm still shocked about that.
That was my.
Thought it never would have happened. So
I've talked to people that don't know that we interviewed him, and they looked me in the face and flat out said
that didn't happen.
He said no, that you'll never talk to Spoon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just laughing. I'm like, I'm not even going to tell you that we have an interview with him in the books. Okay, shame on you for not knowing. At least I think that was Spoon. It'd be fucked up if it wasn't. He just had his friend go
cousin on or something like that. Cousin Eddie.
He's just sitting in the background fucking. Remember he was wishing he could program during the interview. You could see the fingers just. He needs those Grimm swag, man. Need those Grimm shirts.
Grimm is so marketable with a logo. I love their just Mars logo.
It's a simple but beautiful, impacting logo.
Yeah. Beautiful for shirts and such. Or a mug. I would have a Grimm mug.
They could change it too when eventually the island gets worked on and such. So I was curious if they'll change the logo up as the game progresses down the road after, because he's not going to launch it with it. So I'm next. What'd you get?
Solera 1 was my last one, right?
Yep.
So yeah, you're next.
Yep. This is a short and sweet, but kind of cool because it's just those little pushes sometimes that Meta might need to hear. But Pico is adding leggy trackers.
The footage of them is real nice too.
So it's like and it's funny because all I take that as is, okay, we're doing it, knowing damn well that Meta already knows how to do it and will do it, but it's not a make it or break it for me. I'm kind of on the fence with how much leg tracking is even needed.
Hey, you want to hear something crazy about leg tracking?
What's that?
I was at Gamescom. I meant to mention this to you last week on the episode. I was typing up the Salsa app to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then I talked about and then they put the footprints on the ground and you got to match them. And they go, how's it track the feet? And I went, I don't know.
Does a good fucking job of it.
And then somebody asked them, and he goes, yeah, it's just the headset tracking. So I don't know what's going on there.
It knew when I didn't do it right.
Dude, I mean, like, what's going on there?
So I'm not upset.
I've never heard of feet tracking. Have you?
I think it's just positional. The closest I've come to like feet tracking is the skiing game that we demoed.
Where you put the controllers
2
on
years ago. Where
on
you
your
put
feet?
your controllers in like your ankle socks.
Or something like
It
that.
was something like that. Yeah. And you move back, So I just, I don't know if, I know leg tracking is going to be a thing, just like having legs is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how relevant or make or break it is for an experience.
It's
Like
just,
in most games, what would it, what do you need them for?
I want and don't want to use leg tracking in Dragon Fist VR Kung Fu.
Well,
I really
that's-
want to, but I'm scared of myself because I'm going to start to throw crescent kicks.
Yeah.
And
You're going to throw kicks that the game
axe
doesn't
kicks.
even recognize as what it's
throw
supposed to.
side kicks at him.
It's spinning roundhouse kicks,
you could-
crazy shit.
Even if if I tell you I'm not going to, I'm lying.
People are going to bust their legs.
So I want and don't want. But it was real funny for me when somebody asked me, they were like, how's it tracking the feet? And I went,
I don't have the play
I don't know.
space to take advantage, I guess, of the full benefit of having leg trackers. Like if like I was playing a game and I could walk,
mm-hmm.
I can only walk like a couple of feet,
Mm-hmm.
right? I got maybe 3 or 4 feet in each direction.
That's
Where
been
the fuck
my
am I
big,
going?
Yeah.
That's
why I say I want and don't want them because I'm scared of
So
myself.
I don't
with them.
know in today's current world how much it matters.
Mm-hmm. That's probably why we haven't seen Meta drop them yet either, because they
No.
don't want that Guardian liability
what
of
does it
shit
matter?
breaking.
Well, that's on you. They let you set the Guardian.
Yeah.
Remember when you couldn't override, you couldn't ever get away with what you get away with today with the Guardian?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I set mine to this. I know the risks. I get it. I punched the ground. The ground, dude. There's no reason for that. But that's
You've
on
probably
me.
done that playing Dragon Fist because you like to get in the ghetto
I did.
stomps after.
Yeah. Stand over them and start punching.
Mhm.
And the game doesn't even care. It's not really.
I love that you still have the ragdoll effect on them while they're knocked out.
I like kicking the stomps
yeah,
after
that's
they're
why I
down.
say you ghetto stomp.
Curbing.
We have some great footage of us
Dude, that's
going
a fun
ham
game.
on.
But I don't
Dragon
want it
Fist.
with leg tracking.
We have this one clip
We're
that
going to get hurt.
I have recorded where I knocked out the person and you're still fighting the last one. So I'm just sitting there just doing this side to side to the person while they're KO'd. And then when like it's completely done, then it goes to third person.
Yeah.
So then I'm still hitting them in third person against the wall like that. And then the last punch before it goes to like the black loading screen, like it perfectly switches as my knuckle hits their face and you see the face go back. Then it was like poetic timing.
That's funny.
Yeah. Great game for
Fun
putting
as
on the
hell,
after beat. I would need to play it in my garage or something with feet trackers.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. with
Yeah.
it. I know some people, I guess they have to have it in their life or not, but I'm just curious, like how much of a difference does it make? I mean, what games are you playing?
Yeah. No,
I can
agree.
name a whole shitload. You'll never use it.
Yeah. No, I agree. So this next one's cool too. I'm so hyped for this one. Mobile Suit Gundam Silver Phantom. That's coming out in a collaboration between Bandai, Atlas V, and Albion. Atlas V has some of the best stuff. We first got introduced to them through Madrid Noir, so that's enough of a sell to me for the rest of their company. And then they also do great stuff like the Wallace and Gromit VR animated thing. And Mobile Suit Gundam, VR is made for Gundam, man. That just makes sense. Dude, you're a dude inside a giant mech. I mean, let's go. And so it's going to be an interactive film coming out on October 3rd for $18.99 base price, or you can pre-order it now for $15.99. And it's also, so I think I said this, it comes out October 3rd, but it's also going to have 2 different mixed reality game modes, with one of them being like, it almost looks like Crumbling's gameplay where you pick up the Gundam in your hand and move it all around to battle other things.
I think that's the most action you're going to have in it.
Yeah, I'm curious what it means by interactive film.
Madrid Noir was an interactive film. So I want you to just let it sink in, because we love the film, but let it sink in how much interaction took place.
I think you shined
in
a
it.
flashlight.
Yeah, it was very minimal.
I think that we'll see more interaction in this. Let's see.
I'm just saying, go into it with that understanding.
that's fine.
And
I love
I
Gundam.
saw your excitement, and I'm like, the minute I
It's
saw
not a Gundam
interactive
game.
film,
It's not a Gundam game.
I'm like, I think your interaction's going to be more the mini game than...
Probably. Still going to love it. Love Gundam. Gundam was the shit. So I'm excited for this. $18.99, $15.99, coming out October 3rd. Let's see how the mixed reality mode is. I'll report back once it's actually out.
Can't wait for them to do like a choose your own adventure type thing.
Maybe
where your choice really does make a difference.
Let's see. October 3rd, 1 month away.
But that won't be it.
You don't think so?
No.
Let's see.
No, I think that's just, you're just going to play out certain things, press a button or two, feel part of the action, but I don't think it's going to be like every minute you're doing something exciting. I think it's really for the fan that would watch it anyways, except now you're part of it. And then the mini game that we saw is going to be where most of the real action is. But I'm anxious to try it, and I want to see the story. I'm just trying to I'm relating it to Madrid War and the amount of actual play in it. Silent Slayer launches on Steam October 10th.
Nice.
Which is wicked cool. And for some reason, I thought it already was. So I was having a hard time accepting that. Why wasn't it already on Steam? But that's good news for Steam players.
Yeah, I think it's a great title. And so to get it in the PC VR players' hands is awesome.
Will we be able to have it cross because we own it?
I think it's launching on Steam, not on the MetaQuest Rift, not on the Meta Rift store. Meta doesn't really seem to put new titles on the Rift store, which I actually think is a damn shame. I like
the ability to do the cross ones we have.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a need to stop putting titles on the game. Maybe don't push it, but if a developer is going to put their game on Steam PC VR, why not put it on the Rift store as well?
Although, you know what's crazy? I prefer having the PC VR games on Steam because it's easier for me to launch on my headset. And I hate saying this, but if I do the other method of trying to launch it through Airlink, dude, bad shit happens. So, I've had some terrible, I had to cold, hard shut my computer off because I'm it's taken over it just kept coming on. There was no way to close it.
Everyone's got different experiences with which one works best for them.
Yeah, I love seeing in the Discord, when people post, how does this work for you? And some people works fantastic. I have no problems. And other people using the same exact program have nothing but problems. It's very strange.
There's 2 PC VR titles I'm eyeing this week. I want to pick up No Man's Sky, and I also want to pick up Requisition VR, which is coming out soon for the Quest, but I think it's Q4 2024. And
you want it now?
Well, games get delayed too. It's it's no guarantee it's even going to come out Q4 2024. I've already been waiting for the game for 2 years. So, now we have access to PC VR. Might as well just get a little head start now.
I'm tempted. When you said you were going to grab that, I'm I should.
Well, it's the same version for flat screen and VR. You just enable VR mode. So, it's
because I own it on Steam already.
You do?
Yeah.
Then you have the PC, then you have the VR version already. You're just waiting on my ass to get it then.
Okay.
You just launch it and you go. Same with Star Wars Squadrons. It's the same version for the VR. You just enable VR version.
I have Squadrons on Xbox. I'm almost positive I don't have it on Steam. And that sucks because that'd be fun as hell and friggin'
yeah. There's been time I have it on my Steam library.
I'm almost tempted now because I didn't even think that you could do that, dude.
Yeah, it's on my Steam library. I got to hop in. I think what happens is you have to hop in first. Someone's going to correct me if I'm wrong. At least this was how it was back in the day. You can't go into VR mode your first time. You mess with the save. You need to go in, flat screen, launch it, flat screen one time, then close it out, and then go into VR mode. Sounds weird, right? But I remember I launched it straight into VR mode and shit was messed up.
Not working like it should.
And then I looked it up and they were like, yeah, you got to go flat screen first, close it out, get through the initial boot, and then go VR from there.
Oh, I really wish I had Squadrons in Steam.
Yeah. Like I said, they run a lot of sales for it, all the time. Let's see. Maybe
it was fun on flat screen.
Yeah.
But who wouldn't want to fight it,
Star Wars Cockpit. Dude, I want so bad a VR co-op Jedi game. I just want to be a Jedi with you. That's it.
Just
have
fighting
lightsabers.
Or where you have the Force and shit.
Yeah. I want to be a Jedi.
I want to be Darth Vader, dude.
I want to have a lightsaber and the Force in VR.
Remember
cooperatively.
Star Wars Battlefield
Yes, not the ones that came out on Xbox One and stuff. You're talking about like the PlayStation, like 2.
No, I'm talking Xbox 2.
Okay, so they had Star Wars Battlefront.
Battlefront, that's it, not Battlefield. Battlefront.
But they had Star Wars Battlefront in like 2004 and 2005. And then about 5 years ago, they redid Star Wars Battlefront 2 under DICE. And it's not as good in my opinion.
No, I have them both, but
the original ones were where it was at.
Playing that in VR would be pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
Conceptually, I liked it.
I love Star Wars Battlefront, the original ones.
Some repetitiveness, I guess, if I remember correctly. But it was like the first time playing it, you're like, holy shit, this is really freaking cool.
Yeah, one of my all-time favorite shooter games, flat screen, for sure. So, you were the last one?
Mm-hmm.
So, you can tell we've been going for
Silent Slayer.
Yeah, you can tell we've been going for a while.
October 10th.
Keep forgetting who went last. So, this is a cool one. Oktoberfest, the game, which is a VR adaptation of the Oktoberfest festival that goes on yearly in Munich, Germany. This is made by K5 Factory, and it's going to be a free-to-play social VR game with mini games, rides. The trailer does a pretty good job breaking it all down. I was happy that there's gameplay in their trailer. Nothing I hate more than when it's like not gameplay. You have no idea what's going on, whereas their trailer, it actually showed you what was going on in the game. It's in an open beta now, which you join by visiting their Discord and then following the steps there, and then you can join the beta for it now. So, cool stuff.
Nice.
I'm curious how that game is going to work in February and stuff, when it's pretty far away from.
For some people, every day is Oktoberfest.
Right? Well, you know what? That might be the thing for people that really love Oktoberfest. It's going to be a thing that you don't have to wait till September, because Oktoberfest takes place in September. I don't know if you knew that. I didn't know that either. So now you can visit it at any point of year. So actually, that is kind of cool.
Looks to be an interesting social thing.
Yeah, free-to-play social VR games tend to not be our jam too much. Our peanut butter and jam, but...
No. It gave me that total, VR chat kind of vibe. Horizon World.
But I'll check it out.
Man, sometimes I read things and I'm like... I thought I'm living in the past, or I'm having deja vus, but let me just put on my old man specs so I don't screw nothing up. Yeah, man. Mannequin launches on Quest and Steam September 12th.
Yep. What's confusing you is that
it was $19.99.
It was in early access
before.
And
we played it ultra early with some people from the game, and that even makes it worse on me. So it's a tough pill for me to swallow that Mannequin's officially launching.
Well, it was out. Anybody could buy it before, too.
Completed version.
It was just early access.
Dude,
before.
You could have fooled me that was early access.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing early about it in my head playing it. You know how some games you play that's early access and you're like, nope, totally get it.
Into the Radius 2.
Don't need to look over there and see anything good.
Nothing against Into the Radius 2, but that's early access in its core.
And it's like, my brain just doesn't accept that was early access.
Yeah, no, good stuff. I'm excited to hop back
in with us is what they're doing.
Well, we got to
Mannequin's fun, man.
We got to give it another play now that the full launch is happening, because maybe there has been significant improvements, which is crazy to say for an already good game.
Yeah, man. That's one that I think is flying under radars.
Yeah, and
and the rounds are quick too. It's not
on the news today either, but just to reference too. I mean, dude, Fast Travel's next game coming out, their Action Hero. I don't know, actually, don't know if it's their next game, but we got to try it at Gamescom.
Yeah,
Action Hero from them. We talked about it last week. So much fucking fun. Dude. Honestly, I had a blast with it. So Fast Travel's freaking awesome. And actually, speaking of Fast Travel, it rolls into my last one here. Fast Travel Games. They're going to be the publisher of Into the Radius 1 on PSVR 2, which is going to come out on September 19th. So Into the Radius 2 just came out in early access on Steam. One of the most popular VR games, got a huge cult following. But Into the Radius 1...
Another good studio.
Yeah, Into the Radius 1, the original one, like I said, one of the most popular VR games, is coming out on PSVR 2 now as well, from Fast Travel Games. So the reason I'm emphasizing that is I don't want anybody to think it's the sequel coming out in early access on PSVR 2. Nope, this is the original Into the Radius 1 coming out on PSVR 2 through the publishing wing of Fast Travel Games, which is a huge score for them.
I have faith because they know what they're doing. I think it's a great move, especially get your shit on the PSVR.
Yeah, it's funny when we talked to Serge and stuff, we were talking about publishers for Into the Radius 2, and he was like, oh, we're open to that possibility. And then next week, the news comes out of them publishing the first one.
I would have pounced on that. Say no more.
Mm-hmm.
Dragged him off to a corner. Dude, sign right here. You know, like it's such a good game. This is a fun one. Kind of has me intrigued. Seems to be a devil theme going on lately with some metagames. Exercise Your Demons. It's an MR fitness game. You'll have story mode, online, leaderboards, $19.99.
So Exercise Your Demons, that one looks fun, though. It's a mixed reality workout game.
Exercise Your Demons. It actually looks kind of fun. We saw the trailer, and we're like, all right, it's not it looks like they're just tying in exercise into the game where one could say Beat Saber exercise. It might be the same kind of, but it looks like you're hitting pads, but they're demon hell.
It looks like they're going to coach you and encourage you to keep playing with it too. So cool stuff. I'm excited for that one.
So I actually ended up with one extra, and I don't know how. So I'll just give it to you.
No, because I got one extra that I'm going to read off here.
Ah, okay.
So I don't know how. I maybe I went twice in a time that we thought you were the next one.
I don't know, man.
It's all good. So Hitman 3 Reloaded. This is gonna be a big one, man. Hitman, huge franchise, created by XR Games, which they also have Zombie Army VR coming out some point. But I'm hyped for that one. That one was at Gamescom, I think, and we didn't get a chance to try it. Hitman 3 VR Reloaded is gonna be coming out this week actually, September 5th. So I'm hyped for it. This one's kind of like a quick shadow drop. You know, I don't want to use the word shadow drop because I'm sure it's going to get the hype. But I thought I would have heard a release date from it like maybe a month before release, not a week.
Like, boom, it's coming.
Dude.
Trailer looks good.
I'm hyped for this one. There's been some previous Hitman VR.
I like the Hitman series on flat screen, so it's just feeding me what I probably didn't know I was missing.
There's been some previous VR work from Hitman that wasn't the most well received, so I'm excited to see, this one out in the wild.
I think part of that too is the franchise name. I mean, it's like you have an expectation, just like Grand Theft Auto. It's like those fans that play it are going to be relentless with their review. So it's
held to a very high standard.
Yeah. I mean, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
I'll put Train Sim World too. It's like, come on, man. Train Sim.
We were talking about good franchises for VR off air, and one of them I mentioned was, sitting on by Rockstar, who's all gears on deck for GTA. So I don't think we'll ever see this come out, but Max Payne in VR would be freaking awesome.
I would think being older would be easier to port.
That nice time slow stuff too. Like, dude, Max Payne was freaking awesome.
For its time, that was great, dude. Kind of fell off on the second one a little, but the first one was damn good.
Maybe the whole pushing of pain pills and the lead up to the opioid curse just didn't age the best, but dude, great freaking game.
Red Dead 2 on standalone would be...
Even the first one.
Yeah, I want to push it to the limit here. Careful what you wish for type of thing. You know? So it's like...
That game was so graphically stunning, though. I think that we're still
to this day,
while away from that one. Yeah.
Freaking absolutely holds up. So kind of on the good news with the Quest Plus monthly program, but added permanently if you are a Quest Plus member, is Synth Riders, which is a great score.
Yeah, because they do their catalog that you have every month, no matter what.
It's a strong library.
And Walkabout Mini Golf's on that list, too.
Yeah. No, dude. The games
Red
that are
Matter.
on there, if you did nothing else but play the Quest Plus games, you would never need to buy a game. I mean, it's crazy by design they're doing that, because let's be honest, some people will play Synth Riders. They don't need another game in their life.
Synth Riders and Walkabout.
It's like, this is all I need. But the games for September, another stacked one, Zero Caliber and We Are One.
Zero Caliber is a timely one with the sequel out. That means if you play it, you're going to go, oh, let me check out the sequel, right? It makes sense.
Check out the good number 2.
I think that's smart when there's sequels that drop on the store. Like, put the first one for that month in the Quest Plus rotation.
We Are One is fun.
Really fun. We Are One and The Last Clockwinder. Both similar mechanics, but amazing games.
Weird. And they came out relatively close to each other, if I remember.
Well, the Last Clockwinder is more like, soft puzzles,
Dude,
real playful. Real one's combat.
There was some struggles I had with like trying to perfect.
Yeah, because I wanted that max output.
Holy crap.
Such a good game.
But I love how they took you from knowing nothing.
I wonder what else.
Pumped in some story and was able to get you to complete, like, some of them are some pretty tough puzzles to try to pull off. I love the mechanics of it a lot. Yeah.
I wonder what else Pontoko's up to, because it's been a couple of years, man.
Probably a little bit of retirement.
They probably did good. I think that one Quest's own internal editorial game of the year.
It was good. They did a good job.
That was a good one. That was such a good freaking game. So
there's no way to really do a second version of it, but dude, I kind of wish they could in a way.
Dude, Hitman 3 is coming out this week. That so F's with my gameplay schedule of what I had planned, because I want to get I got to get into this one. I love Hitman.
I made the mistake of thinking for some reason my gut was thinking it was going to be an early week update, because I don't think there were any updates to Grim during Gamescom, so I'm like, oh man, there's got to be something coming. I don't want to go invest myself and then lose everything. So I waited, and then I'm like, well, there's going to be the wipe anyways Thursday, and then I waited, and then I think yesterday, boom, there it is. There's the update. So I'm glad I waited.
Yeah.
But definitely going to put some more Grim time in.
You almost had your whole thing surviving through Gamescom.
Ah, dude, I fucked up.
Almost.
If I just spent like another half an hour doing nothing but getting resources, then 1,000,000%.
But great stuff today. Really
Unless somebody had gone in there and wrecked it, in which case,
Look at us. We have this habit where if we only do one episode for the week, we go nice and long. So
how long was it?
That was about an hour 40. Hour 44.
Not too bad.
No record breaking or anything like that.
No,
but
not trying.
Hey, I have a little bit more of I work remotely now, you know? Maybe we won't be as restricted to Sundays anymore. Let's see. Let me settle in. Like I said, if you don't see any interviews this week and stuff, it's a lot of big transitions, a lot of big changes going on. So super excited for the opportunity to be in the industry now, and at a time where, dude, every time we talk the news, it's our stack of flashcards each is so freaking thick for doing a weekly news. It's insane. Which, granted, we did miss a week or two because of Gamescom and stuff with the news episodes. We just decided to not go back all the way there. If we went back to the last news we went off on, this would be a 4-hour episode. So.
Yeah, no. News moves too quick for that. And you can't go back.
It's impressive, dude, that we only talk VR. It's not like this is the whole gaming industry and we have a stack of news. This is just VR news each week.
A tiny, minute percent.
So it's insane. So great stuff. Thank you to all of our listeners that support us, that have been a part of this journey from the bottom to the top. No, I'm just kidding. That everybody that listens, tunes in, and supports us each and every week. Everyone that partakes in our Discord. We got an awesome, super cool Discord community. It's the place to be, if you ask me. So check that out. Check out the Discord, the Patreon, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, drop us some YouTube love, drop a comment, like, subscribe, all that noise. Anything you want to say on parting, sir?
No, you nailed it.
So great stuff, and we'll check you out next week. Ciao, ciao.